Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Odd and these are Karen's Oddities. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Regardless, I do want to ask that you give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, even if you disagree with my content. And I also want to ask that you share this video and our channel with one person that you know, as I'm confident there is something here that both you and they can benefit from. The sun is in front of me and hopefully by the time I'm in the midst of this video, it doesn't start creeping over this way. And I wanted to give you guys an update on my orchid flowers. They're behind me on that wall, sill, whatever you want to call it. It's not a windowsill, but it's a half wall. So the last video that I uploaded on here, at least as of when I'm recording this video regarding, you have to remember that like all the flowers don't last forever. Flowers don't last forever. It still has a dead flower attached to it. However, there are 6 new orchid flowers blooming. I literally thought that plant was dead. I think maybe it just needed a different environment, right? So I have it in my kitchen. There's a window right there. It's probably warmer because there's an air vent in this bottom corner down here. So sometimes when things aren't growing, you have to shift the environment. You have to move them around. You have to breathe new life into them, give them a different opportunity, place them in a different angle, in a different position, give them different things that they need to grow and evolve. That's not what this video is about today, but because the orchid plant is back there and because I took a look at it the other day and I saw 6 new different little sprouts, I'm like, it's alive, it's alive. And I guess it's a low maintenance plant. I always thought I killed them, but it's thriving. It's thriving. Okay, let's get into today's video. So today's video is going to focus on the new year. I am recording this video on the 22nd of December, which is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, which is exactly 10 days before the new year. Sometimes I'm more intentional than others. I think the older I'm becoming, I am becoming more intentional about just everything. Trying to use my time wisely, trying to make sure the conversations I'm having are productive, the media I'm consuming is productive, the food I'm consuming is productive. I'm just not trying to F around anymore as it relates to me or mine or my life. I'm trying to do things differently. So this year, I want to be super intentional about using these next 10 days to get ready for the new year. Sure, should I have been getting ready months ago, weeks ago? Absolutely. But let's be honest, no one has time for that, right? Luckily, I'm off of work these next 2 weeks, so I'm really going to focus on just getting my things in order for the new year. Am I going to enter the new year a completely different person? Is the new year completely going to transform me? Unlikely, but I want to set myself up for success. So in this video, I want to walk through how you can also do that for yourself and how you can start to think about where you want to set your priorities in 2025. Okay, so I have my notebook with me. It's still hanging on strong. I have a couple more sheets left. And even when I do get done using it, I'm still going to hold on to it because it has a lot of introspective thoughts and reflections that I've had over the last, how many years? Over the last 2 years, going on 3, because it's from 2022. But anyway, so the very first thing that you want to do before you start to set your goals and plans for 2025, or you start to create an outline, or you want to do resolutions, whatever you want to call them, goals, plans, resolutions, targets, focus, whatever you want to call them. I don't care what you call them. I don't do resolutions because nothing is going to be resolved when that clock hits at midnight. Nothing is going to be resolved. I'm going to be the same person. But what I do want to consider them, I do want to call them goals. I do want to call them, for me personally, they are areas that I want to shift my focus and be more intentional about feeding into. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do, and this is my like kind of categorization. I think categories are important because they help us look at our lives differently. So anytime I'm writing out goals for myself, I start by categorizing what are the categories that I want to focus on. Okay. This is not the order. And while we are on this video, maybe I'll decide to make this a priority and like put them in order with you guys for me. So the categories that I've outlined for the things that I want to improve in the next year for myself are this. emotional, mental health. So that's one category. Category number two, professional. What are my professional goals, ambitions, I was going to say creative, professional projects. Third thing, physical. Physical for me is two things. Physical is literally my physical being, my physical well-being, and also my physical space, my environment, my home, where I spend most of my time, my office space, etc. My office, physical office that I drive through, and the physical office that I have here. Spaces. Your physical space of your being internally and your physical space that you are commonly in. The fourth thing on here is financial. What is your financial wellness? What does that bank account look like? What do those savings look like? What does that IRA look like? What do those investment accounts look like? What do your stocks look like? What do all these things look like, right? Financial, romantic, and personal. Could romantic fall into personal? Yes, but for me, it's a whole separate category. And when I think about personal, I think about my creative projects, my desires, my book writing, my travel, my personal business, my personal brand, my YouTube channel. Like I think about things like that that are small things that bring me joy. Okay. So, first and foremost, if these categories are not in alignment with what you want for you or what you think makes sense for you, like maybe romantic doesn't have to be on there. Maybe you're married, you've been married for 30 years. Take it off of there, right? Oh, and personal, I forgot to mention. Personal is also, you can just, I am using personal to encompass all of my relationships, my friendships, my familial relationships, my work relationships. That is tied into personal for me. So once you identify your list of categories of things that you want to focus on, the second thing that you want to do is work on prioritization, right? So if I were to look at this list, emotional, professional, physical, financial, romantic, personal, what do I really want to focus on in the new year? And for me, I mentioned in another video, I don't know if I've uploaded it yet, 2025, I'm going to be selfish as fuck. Simple as that. Some may argue I'm already selfish. That's fine. I know I haven't been selfish enough. And by selfish, I just mean I'm creating greater boundaries with people and with myself. And I'm not budging on those boundaries anymore because I've budged a little bit too much. So for me, in the new year, emotional is number one. Ironically, it's number one on my list. Emotional is number one for me. Number two, I would say, in order for my emotional to be good and my boundary setting, I need to do two. Personal. So creative projects, family, friends, travel. I'm just writing these things down because I forget. What's number three on here? My professional endeavors are really important to me. So I'm going to put that as number three. Romantic is important to me. I'm going to put that as 5. It's kind of tied with financial 6 and physical 7. Is my physical body important to me? Yes, but I've already been on like a journey for that. So I feel like I don't have to put it high up on the list. So I reordered all of these categories on my greatest importance to my least importance. And then next, and I'm not going to go through all these things with you because it would be a very extensive long video, and separate from that, this is very personal to me. Okay, so I'm going to talk briefly about what are different approaches you can take once you create a priority list of categories of your life. And then from there, we might wrap up this video. Essentially, so once you create a list of priorities based on the categories of your life, you want to do basically an inventory. And I talked about this in another video that I know I never uploaded because then my breakup happened and a lot of the things that I said in that video didn't make sense anymore to me. So I didn't upload that video. But I think it's extremely important to reflect, to do an inventory about what is going on and what has been going on in your life in those spaces. Like, for example, and I'm going to give examples. These are specific, but I'm going to try to keep some things personal. When I think about my emotional inventory, am I in a good headspace? I think so. There are times when I wasn't in a good headspace, but when I reflect on doing an inventory on my emotions and like my emotional well-being and my mental health, I think about the fact that I have not been in therapy since 2017 or 2018. It was when I was in college. I was going through it. College was super stressful for me. I was a first-generation college student. It's been several years since I've been in therapy. There have been several instances since then, like moments and like situations that have like really affected me emotionally where I know I should have re-enrolled back in therapy. And one of my goals for 2025 is I do want to get into therapy. I want to identify a therapist that I am compatible with. Cash, please. I want to identify a therapist. Come here, buddy. Come here. Look. Stop, okay? I want to identify a therapist that I am compatible with, enroll, set up a schedule. But before I meet with that therapist, I want to be intentional about making a list of what are the things that I want to address in therapy. What are common behavioral issues that I have that I want to get to the root of, that I want to resolve? What are traumas from my youth that I want to address, right? So step one is identifying the categories. Step two is prioritizing those categories and how you want to focus them in the new year. Step three is doing a reflection, an inventory of where has your life been this past year as it relates to that category. And then step four is determining what is the plan to address that space or thing in your life. What is the plan to be better in that area in the new coming year? So for me, it is one, identify a therapist, and outline a list of things that I want to work out with that therapist and actually do that shit. Actually find a therapist and enroll in it, right? Like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these, but professional, it's important to reflect on where you are in your career right now. Are you working somewhere that you enjoy? Are you happy with your job? Are there growth opportunities? When is the last time you got a promotion? What are you making right now? Have you done comparisons of what other people are making in your field? Are you happy with that? Are you satisfied, right? Physical, thinking about your physical body. Like, when is the last time you went and got a checkup? When is the last time you got a physical? You got your eyes checked, you went to the dentist. Do you have health insurance? Do you want to focus on a job that provides medical benefits? Do you feel comfortable in your body? Do you feel healthy? Are there signs or symptoms that you've been having that you haven't expressed to your doctor, that you haven't explored, that you want to look into? Do you want to see a specialist as it relates to dermatology, as it relates to nutrition? I'm considering seeing a nutritionist as well. So that's something that I'm going to put in my goals for 2025. Now that I have a new job that has health benefits, like, I'm going to make sure that I'm intentional about using all the benefits associated with that. Next on here is financial, right? Same thing. Do a review. What are your finances like? How has your spending been like? Once the year is over, depending on what bank you bank with, or if you want to do it manually, if you're like me and old school, you can do that. But you can, if you have an application, your app can break down your expenses based on different types, right? So if it's like retail, they can break it down for retail. If it's like, if you type in the search bar, you can break it down to all your electrical bills, your mortgage, etc., like that, which some of those things you can do manually. The mortgage doesn't change, right? Your taxes. Review your finances, see where your money has been going, and how do you want to spend it differently. Look at your savings. How much have you saved? How much could you have saved? Where do you want to scale it back? And what is the plan that you're going to put in place to scale your expenses back in those certain areas? Does that mean not dining out as much? Does that mean not going to get your nails done every week? Maybe reducing it to every 2 weeks, or reducing it to every 3 weeks, or something like that. Have to think about all of these things. Romantic. What does that mean, right? What is your current romantic status? Who's in your life romantically? What are you looking for in a romantic partner? And what are you doing about meeting that partner? Are you opting to be on dating apps? I personally fuck a dating app. I will never get on one ever again, and I will die on that cross. I will never use a dating app again in my life. And if I never meet someone, then I never fucking meet someone, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. It's what God wants. It's not what I want. So, what are you doing to meet people? What are red flags that you missed in the people that you met this previous year? What are the points in the connection or relationship that you're going to make an assessment of when you need to walk away? These are all things that you can put in place in the new year. Last one, personal. Personal, okay, here's the sun creeping up. Personal encompasses a lot of different things, right? For me, personal is my creative projects. I said I'm writing a book. I'm starting a business. I have another business idea that I'm working on. Travel. Where am I traveling to in 2025? I'm putting those plans in place, putting those plans in action. Looking at what I did this past year. Travel was very light in 24 for me. Travel was very heavy in 23. In 25, it's going to be moderate, but it's definitely going to be happening. And it's going to be some new spots that I haven't visited before. And then for family and friends, I am truly going to do an inventory of my family and friends. I know this sounds maybe harsh, but I have to. I'm going to do an inventory of my family and friends and determine who are the people that were in my life in 24 that I don't really care to bring into 25. And I'm probably going to cut them off or block them. And I'm also going to determine if there are people that I had an existing relationship with where that relationship has kind of, I won't say died off, but we haven't been intentional about maintaining it. So then I may reach out in the new year trying to reconnect that friendship, professional relationship. And for that, I will say when you are reconnecting with people again, it can't just be like, oh, let's go get lunch and let's catch up. Have some goals, have some topics of conversation, things you want to catch up on, especially if it's a professional meeting. I really encourage coming prepared with a list. So it kind of summarizes my approach to what I'm going to be working on for these next 10 days. Um, One, reflecting, two, deciding what I want to do differently in 25, putting a plan in place. And then once you put that plan in place, what I also like to do, which is also kind of like the final step, is you associate those goals that you have with a date. So, for example, if I say, I'm going to find a compatible therapist and I'm going to make a list of things I want to work on with that therapist, I am going to set a deadline by when I want to have secured my first assessment appointment with my therapist. So I'm probably going to do that in the first, for example, quarter of 2025. The quarter is 3 months out of the year. The year has 12 months. If you divide it, that is 3 months out of the year. There are 4 quarters in the year. So that's one example, setting those timelines and trying to hold yourself to those timelines. Is it always going to happen? Is it always going to work that way? Of course it's not. But when you have a plan, it helps hold you accountable. It helps remind you. And most importantly, it's important to keep that plan somewhere where it's visible to you, whether it's making a vision board, whether it's having it digitally, screenshotting it, whether it's printing it and putting it on top of your, in front of your refrigerator, whether it's putting it in your mirror, putting it in a frame right next to your bed. My dog is going to start going nuts because these squirrels are out. They're trying to catch their last bit of nuts before winter season is in full effect. Come here, buddy. Look what's here. Come here. Good boy. He listens a little bit better now. So I think this video is at a good spot. I feel good about what I've been able to cover. I hope you guys took something from this video of value. Do the things in this video to enter the new year a little bit better, a little bit more stable, a little bit more healthy, and enter the new year with a stable, secured plan. Thank you for watching. See you guys on the next video.